Welcome to America Quantified. This channel explains the United States through data. No hot takes, just numbers mapped and compared. Today, what America produces, and a simple test. If California were a country, where would it rank? If you like data-first videos, subscribe. New episodes are built the same way. Clean visuals, sources, and clear comparisons. Here's the California test. California's GDP is $4,103,124,000,000. Germany is about $4,685,593,000,000. Japan is about $4,027,598,000,000. So California sits between Germany and Japan. That makes it the world's number 4 economy if it were a country. Put that in your head. It'll frame the whole episode. Zoom out. The U.S. economy is $29,184,890,000,000 in 24. That's the output of one country. But it is produced in very different places, by very different systems. Now the first wow chart. The top 5 states, California, Texas, New York, Florida, and Illinois, create about 41% of total U.S. GDP. If you live in one of these states, you're inside the core engine. If you don't, your state still matters, because supply chains connect everyone. Quick question. Comment your state and the industry you think drives it. Healthcare, energy, logistics, tech, agriculture, anything. I'm reading these. Here's the other side. The 5 smallest state economies, Vermont, Wyoming, Alaska, South Dakota, and North Dakota, together total about $319,200,000,000. That's roughly the size of Louisiana alone, at $327,782,000,000. So yes, 5 states combined can equal one median state. Size differences are extreme in a single country. This is the median, not the average. The median. In 24, that's Louisiana at $327,782,000,000. So when people say a typical state economy, it's hundreds of billions, not tens of billions. If this is useful, hit like, so YouTube learns this is a data audience. Now let's map it. GDP clusters along major metros and coastal corridors. But notice the interior: manufacturing, energy, logistics, agriculture. This is why the U.S. economy is never one story. It's geography. Same idea. Per person. GDP per capita is not income. It's output divided by people. And it varies a lot, from about $53,000 in the lowest state to over $265,000 in D.C. That gap is not just skill. It's industry mix, specialization, and commuting patterns. Leaderboard view. At the top, New York at roughly $115,620. Massachusetts at $109,398. Washington at $107,399. And California at $104,058. At the bottom, Mississippi at roughly $53,514. West Virginia at $60,825. Arkansas at $61,115. Comment again. Does this feel true where you live? Or does cost of living change the picture? Before we talk industries, one more map. Population density. Because production follows people, but not perfectly. New Jersey is 1,263 people per square mile. Alaska is 1.3. Massachusetts is 901.2. California is 253.7. Texas is 111.6. This is why per-state comparisons can look strange. Land is not population. Population is not output. What does America produce? First answer: services dominate. In 24, private services are about $21,142,000,000,000. Goods are about $4,860,000,000,000. And government is about $3,296,000,000,000. So the U.S. is not mainly a factory country. It's a services superpower with critical physical production underneath. Now the biggest slices. The full finance and real estate bucket, which the BEA calls FIRE, is about $6,282,000,000,000. Real estate and rentals alone, $4,052,000,000,000. Professional and business services, $3,811,000,000,000. Manufacturing, $2,881,000,000,000. Healthcare and social assistance, 2 trillion, 209 billion. Information, 1 trillion, 593 billion. If you expected factories to be number one, this chart resets your mental model. This is the comparison people remember. Real estate value added is $4 trillion, $52 billion. Manufacturing is $2 trillion, $881 billion. Important note, value added is not home prices. It's the economic value created in that industry. Rents, services, operations. Now you see why housing policy shows up everywhere in economics. And tech, in GDP terms, is usually captured in information. That's $1 trillion, $593 billion in 24. To sanity check it, Israel's entire GDP is about $540 billion. So the U.S. information sector alone is multiple Israels. Not in people, just in output. Now the labor side. In 24, healthcare and social assistance employs about 24,489,100 people. Manufacturing employs about 12,816,800. So healthcare has roughly double the headcount, but manufacturing can still punch above its weight in exports and productivity. This slide is the bridge between jobs and output. Some sectors create far more GDP per worker than others, not because people work harder, but because capital, pricing power, and industry structure differ. If you want a deep dive on productivity by sector, tell me in the comments. I'll build the full mapping with stricter NAICS alignment in a follow-up. Back to the global comparisons. California, $4 trillion, $103 billion, $124 million. Canada, $2 trillion, $243 billion, $637 million. Russia, $2 trillion, $173 billion, $836 million. Iran, $475 billion, $252 million. That's why California is the country test. It's instantly understandable and hard to unsee. Texas is $2 trillion, $709 billion, $393 million, roughly Canada-sized. New York is $2 trillion, $297 billion, $28 million, roughly Russia-sized. That's not politics. That's scale. Comment your state, then tell me which country-sized economy you think it resembles. One caution: high output per person can be high prices per person. California's regional price parity is 110.7, meaning prices are about 10.7% above the U.S. average. Hawaii is 110.0, New Jersey 108.8. So the lived experience of rich can differ from the GDP ranking. So what does America produce? A lot of services, a lot of high-value systems, and a massive, uneven geography of output. If you watch this far, you're exactly the audience we're building America Quantified for. Subscribe for the next map, and leave one comment. Your state, plus the industry you think defines it. I'll use your answers to shape the next dataset.